So any doubts to anyone? Any doubts to anyone?
No, sir.
मुझे कोई डाउट है आपको?
No, sir.
Starting with the discussion today. So उज्जवल, हमने कहां तक किया था?
सर हमने वो लास्ट में मोमेंटम वाली इक्वेशन करी थी सर।
कौन सी इक्वेशन?
मोमेंटम, लीनियर मोमेंटम वाली
कंजर्वेशन ऑफ लीनियर मोमेंटम।
कंजर्वेशन ऑफ लीनियर मोमेंटम।
ओके,
इसमें सर हमने वो वॉल्यूम और एरिया वाला को यूज करके सर कन्वर्ट करी थी ना वो एरिया सरफेस।
तो we
Area को
converted the
volume में
surface
convert
integral to volume integral.
यस सर।
Okay. So I am continuing with that, and for your benefit, I have drawn certain diagrams also, so that it becomes much more clearer that where are you finding out this conservation of linear momentum. So any doubts in this first equation? This is rate of change of linear momentum of the system. This is equal to what? We have already discussed this should be equal to net force acting on the system. And we identified that this force should be either surface force or this could be a body force. And this was the surface integral which we converted to a corresponding volume integral using Gauss divergence theorem. यहाँ तक clear है? Any doubts to anyone till this point?
No, sir.
So now, what are you able to see on the left hand side? What do you see in the left hand side? What is this? What do you think? What is this? What do you think are these arrows representing?
The velocity of fluid.
So velocity profile.
Yes, sir.
So if this is the velocity profile, so this means this is a stationary plate. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And you have chosen the control volume at any arbitrary location. This is the control volume, which is having volume V. So please remember this is the total volume, and CV is also, so volume of control volume is total V. Volume of differentially small control volume is dV. Now let me know, we have already discussed this. I want insight from your side. What kind of surface forces will be acting on this control volume? What kind of surface forces will be acting on this control volume? What surface forces will be acting on this control volume?
विस्कस फोर्स लग रही होगी.
Viscous force. Any
Pressure
other force?
प्रेशर फोर्स.
Pressure force. Any other surface force? Now what about body forces?
Gravitational force.
Gravitational pull. So body force is gravitational.
सर बायंसी फोर्स होगी मतलब.
So what is buoyancy? Buoyancy is only pressure force only. So please remember, buoyancy is nothing different. It is only the pressure difference. So pressure difference force is the buoyant force. So we have already included in this term. Are you clear?
यस सर.
So buoyancy is just another way. Buoyant force is a way to represent the pressure difference force, nothing more than that. And as a side note, what do you expect? If there was no gravity, will there be any buoyant force?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
So please remember, buoyant force is only there when you have non-zero gravitational force. Otherwise, this will also go to zero. If gravitational force goes to zero, buoyant force also goes to zero. So that is a little bit of non-intuitive kind of a concept, but you should always remember this. So in terms of surface forces, we have pressure force and viscous force. And in case of body force, we have gravitational force. Now I'm coming a little bit different from what we have discussed. Now, can you think about what change I have made to the control volume? How this control volume is different from the control volume in the previous case? What do you think?
The location.
Location. So location is different.
Yes,
So
sir.
now, how will the surface force, now what will be the surface forces on this?
Only pressure force.
Only pressure force. Will there be any body viscous force?
No,
Why?
because it is not in the viscous area.
Not in the viscous area. So what? So viscosity is different here. If viscosity is say some value, and here is some viscosity value, what do you think? Viscosity is zero here? Haji.
Sir, it will be not zero.
So it is not zero. Then why viscous force is zero?
सर नेग्लिजिबल होगी, बहुत
Why?
स्मॉल होगी.
तो क्योंकि वो रेस्ट पे है इसलिए,
Haji.
वो रेस्ट पे है, बाउंड्री पे है ना.
तो यहाँ पे ये फ्री स्ट्रीम वेलोसिटी से मूव कर रहा होगा ना, इसलिए विस्कस फोर्स नेग्लिजिबल होगी.
क्यों होगी? मैं वही तो पूछ रहा हूँ, विस्कस फोर्स नेग्लिजिबल क्यों होगी?
सर क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो हमारी जो स्टेशनरी प्लेट है सर, उससे इसका डिस्टेंस डेल्टा से ज्यादा है. डेल्टा
वो तो मैं
इसलिए
समझ
सर,
गया. What you are
Every
saying
layer,
is-
every layer of fluid is moving at same
So you are
velocity.
saying this is the boundary layer, and this is the region above the boundary layer. That is your point.
यस सर, सर वो फ्री स्ट्रीम वेलोसिटी से मूव कर रहा होगा, मतलब कि हर लेयर की जो स्पीड होगी वो इक्वल होगी सर.
हाँ, but what is viscous force? Viscous
Dragging
force
force.
adhesive होती है कि cohesive होती है?
कोहेसिव.
Cohesive. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? यहां पे फोर्स में और यहां पे फोर्स में क्या फर्क है? कोहेसिव का मतलब है सेम मॉलिक्यूल्स के अंदर.
यस सर.
तो अगर मैं कोई यहां पे एक रीजन ले लूं और एक यहां पे रीजन ले लूं, तो क्या मैग्नीट्यूड चेंज हो जाएगा दोनों में? I am giving you 30 seconds. Think about it. Then I will answer the question. 30 seconds. Think critically. It is correct that there is negligible viscous forces, but this term as such is not correct. There should be some more, one or two words into it, then it will become exact. Now I want from your side to clearly state what do you mean by negligible viscous force, because viscous force will be there. You know that any element here, any element here, any element here, the molecules have same forces of attraction between each other or among each other. Then why do we consider viscous forces in this region but not in this region?
सर नीचे वाले रीजन में एडहेसिव फोर्स भी होगी ना, ऊपर वाले में सिर्फ कोहेसिव होंगी, नीचे वाले
Adhesive
में
तो इसमें होगी ना, यहाँ पे
सर नीचे वाले में एडहेसिव और कोहेसिव दोनों होंगे सर,
क्यों?
इसमें
एडहेसिव कहाँ पे होगी?
सर बिल्कुल यहाँ पे नीचे प्लेट के।
सर वहाँ
हाँ,
तो
यहाँ
होगी।
पे होगी ना एडहेसिव, ये यहाँ पे।
यस सर।
यहाँ पे क्या होगा?
सर यहाँ कोहेसिव फोर्स होगी।
और यहाँ पे क्या होगा?
सर यहाँ भी कोहेसिव होगी।
इन दोनों में फर्क क्या हुआ, ए और बी में?
सर रेनॉल्ड नंबर इंक्रीज हो रहा है।
हाँ वो ठीक है, मतलब मैं आपको लॉजिकली पूछ रहा हूँ, वो तो आप सब जो ऑलरेडी आपने जिस तरह से पढ़ रखा है आप उसको बताई जा रहे हो, लेकिन दैट इज नॉट द रीजन. इफ यू ऑल्सो थिंक what is the reason that viscous force you are saying it to be zero, what is the reason for that? Viscous forces are not different in A and B region.
सर वो बिल्कुल नीचे जैसे है जो पॉइंट अपना कंसीडर
हाँ।
किया हुआ है।
हाँ, ये
सर वो
पॉइंट
बिल्कुल
सी हो गया मान लो.
सर सर वो बिल्कुल सारे वहाँ पे एडहेसिव ही लग रही है, तो सर नेग्लिजिबल वीकनेस फोर्स है।
सर वहाँ पे dy की वैल्यू बहुत मैक्सिमम है, मतलब इधर ऊपर, और यहाँ पे मिनिमम है सर, इसलिए रेशियो कम हो जाएगा।
चलो, आई विल गिव यू अ हिंट नाउ. मैंने यहां से एक एलिमेंट उठाया, नाउ आई एम पुटिंग हियर, ट्राई टू सी. ये इस एलिमेंट पे विस्कस फोर्स लग रही होगी. हाँ जी, क्लियर है? इज दैट क्लियर?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
If I now take an element from here, what do you think?
Cancel out each other.
So cancel out. So negligible net viscous force. So please remember, viscous, these magnitudes don't go to zero. It is only they balance each other in this region. So it is incorrect to say that there are no viscous forces here. Viscous forces are here, but they balance out each other. So you have negligible net viscous forces. So that net word is very important. It does not mean that viscous force itself is zero here or negligibly small here. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
नहीं सर, दोबारा समझा दो,
हाँ जी,
एक बार फिर से समझा दीजिए।
जैसे ठीक है, आप ये देखिए, आपको ये पता है, आप ये तो करते हो अगर न्यूटोनियन फ्लूइड है.
यस सर।
ठीक है, अगर एक पॉइंट पे है, मान लो यहां पे था, ये तो शियर स्ट्रेस हो गया, इस पे मैंने एक एलिमेंट यहां से उठा लिया, तो जो एलिमेंट होगा इस पे एक इस डायरेक्शन में फोर्स लग रही है, एक इस डायरेक्शन में फोर्स लग रही है. ये क्लियर है? अगर एलिमेंट यहां से उठा लो.
यस सर।
अगर मैं यहां से एलिमेंट उठाता हूं, अब विस्कस फोर्स तो है. विस्कस फोर्स क्यों है? क्योंकि विस्कस फोर्स इज इनहेरेंटली कोहेसिव फोर्स बिटवीन द मॉलिक्यूल्स. अब यहां पे जो फ्लूइड एलिमेंट होगा वो एक रिजिड बॉडी की तरह मूव हो रहा होगा, जिसपे फोर्स तो लग रहा है लेकिन इक्वल एंड ऑपोजिट है, तो वो बैलेंस हो रहा है. It is not causing any kind of deformation, or the force is not causing any kind of kinematics. So as such, it is moving like a rigid body. For instance, if you throw a ball, or I say this was a table, you have ball is moving with constant velocity v. What does that mean? What does that mean? If the ball is moving with constant velocity, you have initially made a push, or say ball is moving with constant velocity, what does that mean? Net force on this is
0.
0.
So this net word is although there, you don't consider this. because you are much more comfortable and conversant with using force only. You simply say force is 0. That's why there is no acceleration. But it does not mean no force is acting. It means forces are acting in such a manner that they are balancing out each other. So this should be clear in this region. It does not mean that viscous force is 0. It means net viscous force is 0. And clear hai?
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubts to anyone? So this region in which net viscous force is equal to 0, this region is called inviscid region of flow. So please remember, you always assign this inviscid adjective to region. You cannot have inviscid fluid. This is totally incorrect. You will always have regions of flow in which you can treat that region of flow as inviscid. That is, the net viscous forces are negligible. And is that clear? Any doubts to anyone? Now, if you had, say, an aerofoil like this, and say these were the streamlines so these were the streamlines about this aerofoil. So I mark this region A, I mark this region as A, this region as B, this region as C. So what do you think? In which region can you treat the region as inviscid? Which region can be called as inviscid?
A and C.
C and
A and C can be called as
inviscid.
inviscid. B cannot be called as inviscid region. So fluid is same everywhere, viscosity is same everywhere, but only the thing is that we don't have net viscous forces in these regions. The fluid is moving as if it was a rigid object. So that is the reason why we call this as inviscid region of flow. So please remember, it is always region of flow, not the fluid itself. Clear? Likewise, when I say irrotational region of flow, it is meant that in that region, the rotational effects are negligibly small. So in this example, you are able to see, again, this is a boundary layer, and due to viscous effects predominant, there is rotation of the fluid element about its own axis. So this region of flow is called rotational region of flow. And the region above the boundary layer, where the fluid element is not rotating about its own axis, this region of flow is called irrotational region of flow. So please remember, we have always inviscid, irrotational regions of flow. We cannot have inviscid fluid or irrotational fluid. So this terminology is entirely incorrect. You should always say irrotational or inviscid region of flow. So you will never ever get confused that how it is inviscid region, because you always say that region can be inviscid where the viscosity effects can be neglected. It does not mean at all that viscosity is small there. Any doubts to anyone? So conservation of linear momentum as such is a generalized conservation equation that can be applied to control volume at any arbitrary location, whether in boundary layer region or outside the boundary layer region. It does not matter. But when I am specific that I want to apply the conservation of linear momentum to a control volume in inviscid region of flow, that equation is called the Euler equation. So please remember, Euler equation is only valid for inviscid region of flow. So that is an assumption, or more appropriately, Euler analyzed the fluid motion or flow behavior in this region of flow. So that is why this is a special case of more general conservation of linear momentum. Any clear hai? Any doubts to anyone? So please try to see that these are very special cases, because you remember that rate of change of linear momentum was this originally, and we knew that this was actually the case. This was the general case. We neglected this term because in classical mechanics this was the only term. Then this was a simplification which led to Newton's second law. In the Newton's second law, when we neglect the viscous forces, we end up in Euler equation. So please always remember this. The applicability of these laws is not universal. You cannot apply force equal to mass into acceleration for relativistic mechanics. You cannot apply Euler equation for a region taken in this region. Euler equation only applies to inviscid region of flow. So that should be absolutely clear in your mind. Any doubts to anyone? Any doubts? So with this assumption, now we are left with that in inviscid region of flow, we know that net viscous forces are zero. So in the surface forces, we will not include the effect of viscosity as such. So that means in surface forces, we are only left with pressure forces. Any doubts to anyone in these equations? Any doubts to anyone in these two equations? Should I move forward? Siddharth.
Yes, sir.
So this I have already done. I think this is clear to everyone. I have done yesterday this kind of analysis, that if there is only pressure force, then you can simply calculate the difference in pressure forces along X, Y, and Z directions. Then you can have pressure force as well as the body force, that was the gravitational force. So you are left with this kind of an expression. Any doubts to anyone? The right hand side was simple, which came from applying the Gauss divergence theorem, which you already know. The left hand side we got by simply analyzing a differentially small control volume. So please remember this differentially small control volume were analyzed. So this is the analysis of this differentially small control volume. And we found that if we have sum of all forces in X, Y, and Z directions, we came up with this should be equal to effectively this term. This includes pressure force term and this includes the body force term. Any doubts to anyone? Any doubts to anyone in this equation? This is the pressure force, this is the body force. And this is what we have got from Gauss divergence theorem when we converted the surface to volume integral. Clear? Now what I am doing is, in order to simplify this case, I am using this well-known vector identity. So this is a formula which relates certain terms, and I am substituting this term with this expression. That is the only mathematical manipulation I have made. Any clear hai? Any doubts to anyone? Any doubts to anyone? So with this manipulation, can you further simplify these three terms? What do you know from continuity equation? Sayyid. What do you know from continuity equation? What does continuity equation state?
Sir, rho AB1 equals to rho AB2.
The equation we derived, that is a very special case what you are talking about.
Del rho del T plus del rho U by del X plus
You
del
said
rho.
curly rho by curly T
Yes, sir.
plus, if you
Curly-
remember, it was
curly-
del dot
Rho V.
Rho V
rho V is equal to
0.
0. So the motivation behind replacing this term with these terms is only so that you get one of these terms and then you can equate equal to 0. Now I am giving you 1 minute. Solve the right hand side of this equation and let me know whether you get such expression or not. I am giving you 1 minute. Then I will ask Subek and Ujjwal to explain to the entire class. Subek and Ujjwal. I am giving you 1 minute. I want you to solve this part of the equation. Subek.
Sir.
So what is your answer?
Sir, I'm trying to solve this.
And I am giving you 30 seconds more. Meanwhile, all others also solve. I want the answer of the right hand side. Hanji Subek.
Sir, it will simplify to rho V vector.
Rho
V vector. V vector. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, in bracket V dot del operator.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Why you have come up with this expression?
Sir, if we put in the value of del rho by del T.
So you are saying you are putting the value of this
Yes, sir.
equal to 0.
Yes, sir. sir, I put the value of
But
del
there,
rho by del T.
but here there is no del rho by del T. It is del rho v by del T. So you shouldn't have applied the product rule here.
Yes, sir. Sir, wait a minute, sir. I'll do it once more, sir.
Ujjwal. So what is your answer?
del rho by
This first term, you can apply a product rule. You get rho curly v by curly t plus v curly rho by curly t. And you can keep these two terms as such. That is v del dot rho v then plus rho v dot del v.
सर इसमें सर v कॉमन
Now, can you combine any two terms?
Sir, now if we put in the value of the del rho by del T, this
So you can
two
combine
terms
this,
will get cancelled.
combine this
Second
with
and
what?
third term will get cancelled.
Combine this with
Yes,
this. These two terms are
opposite.
0.
Yes, sir.
V will be common and you get here V common curly rho by curly T plus del dot rho V. And you know that this term is equal to 0 by continuity equation. So you are only left with these two terms. This one and this one. What can you take common out? You can take rho as the common. So what do you get finally? You get rho curly v by curly t plus v dot del v. So the right hand expression becomes equal to this. Now let me know, Siddharth,
Yes, sir.
what is this term equal to? This in blue, if you remember. So what is this equal to? Pulkit. What is these two terms equal to? Pulkit?
Yes,
Pulkit, are you there? Pulkit?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what are these two terms equal to? Prashant,
Sir, conservation of linear momentum,
these two terms.
because sir we use del v vector upon del t plus v vector dot del on t. Conservation of
Acceleration of particles.
Acceleration of particle.
substantial derivative sir
आपको याद
Yes,
है?
sir. Yes, sir.
Convective plus local.
So
Yes,
this
sir.
was actually this thing,
Yes.
the substantial derivative term.
Yes, sir.
yes sir.
This was equal to curly v by curly t plus v dot del v. So that was obvious because you know that we were solving the left hand side, that is we were solving force. And what do you know? What is force equal to? mass into acceleration. And you have divided everything with volume. So these terms would have been essentially mass into acceleration by volume. That is rho times acceleration. And this is the term you got after going through various steps also. Rho into the acceleration. So is that clear? Any doubts to anyone? Any doubts to anyone? So I am finally left with this expression, which I have just derived. That is sum of all forces per unit volume is equal to mass times acceleration per unit volume. It is as simple as that. But I have followed a different route instead of the direct route. This is the pressure force per unit volume. This is the body force per unit volume. This is the mass times acceleration per unit volume. So this is simple Newton's second law, nothing more than that. Although represented in a much more complicated manner, because in terms of fluid, we cannot assign a single velocity to a fluid. We need to have these u, v, w components and all that stuff. And clear hai? Any doubts to anyone? So this equation of conservation of linear momentum, where I am applying to the inviscid region of flow, is called the Euler equation. Euler equation of motion. So Euler equation of motion is a special case of conservation of linear momentum. The only simplification I have done is I have analyzed the fluid flow in inviscid region of flow instead of any arbitrary control volume. That is the only simplification. Any doubts to anyone? Now, can you think why Euler was interested in inviscid region? What do you think? Why did Euler describe it for inviscid region, and why it was sufficient for so many centuries?
So less complicated.
Less complicated, and what else? Because in most of the cases, you were essentially analyzing those applications didn't involve this region at all, because boundary layer as such is of very small thickness. So there were no aeroplanes, no streamlining of bodies. So it gave accurate results in this region, and that was sufficient for that particular century, because we didn't have these kind of structures at that point in time. So that is the reason, as simple as that. So necessity is the mother of invention, and when the need arises for these kind of things, then Euler equation was further researched, and then this Euler equation was generalized, and we call it as Cauchy's equation, or Cauchy's equation was further modified by Navier and Stokes, and that is called Navier-Stokes equation. So please remember, conservation of linear momentum is the general operating principle,